Burkina Faso is a tiny landlocked country in West Africa that gained independence from French colonial rule back in 1960. Since then, the country's been a hotspot for political upheaval, and its people have suffered from social turmoil and strife. But over the last few years, progress is being made, and the government in the capital city of Ouagadougou has stabilized the country to some degree. I'll be traveling there to meet with my French connection, Dieter Manouchian. Our goal is to explore the province of Gourmandchi, specifically the area of Singo, to gather feet-on-the-ground information about the wildlife in this troubled land.
We are in the middle of it here, that is for sure. It's crazy, it's nuts. Everybody's here from all the local villages. This is the market day. This is when you can buy anything in this area. How you doing? How you doing? Hello. The name of this town is Tawabugu. I don't think the kids around here see a lot of video cameras. Or people from North America. Definitely attracting a little of attention here in this village. I'm not sure. How are you doing? Ça va, ça va. Ça va. How are you doing? Ça va. This is cool. Here's the meat market. And if there was a bush meat market, this is where you'd find it. But I don't see it. What I see so far is domestic animals, beef and chicken and some interesting parts. We've just come to a booth in this market stall that's got elephant skin, and that's enough proof that there's poaching going on. And there's definitely a market, but I would say that there's not a thriving bushmeat market, and that's great for the wildlife. I'm looking forward to actually getting into the hunting area, the hunting reserve, the 500,000 acres. It's a wildlife refuge financed by hunters. We'll head back to the vehicle now and keep going towards the hunting area. Through a ton of villages here in Burkina Faso on the way to this spot. What they tell me is that this is the boundary of the hunting area, and all the villagers have been moved out of the hunting area. Again, it's wildlife habitat. They're trying to pay for it with hunter dollars. Otherwise, the villagers will just inundate the area, and the wildlife's gone just like it's been all the way from Ouagadougou. We haven't seen a thing, not one wild animal all the way along. But we'll see what we see. officially crossed the boundary into the hunting/wildlife/conservation area here in Burkina Faso. So far what I'm seeing is classic Moyambo forest during the dry season. It's obviously really wet here in another few months, but right now it's dry as a bone. The soil's cracked. Haven't seen any animals yet, but we'll should start to see some soon, I hope. It's all new country, so there's no roads in here at all. Making our way deeper and deeper into the wildlands of Burkina Faso. This 500,000 acres of wildlife refuge. Uncharted. Stop. That's a male right there. You see him?
Yep.
That's Bouffon cob. You see him?
Yep.
That's Bouffon cob. That's what we've come all this way to find. One of the animals, Bouffon cob. Only other place you can hunt them is Cameroon in one tiny little corner in Benin. Huh. Awesome. Now we just got to find an old one. That's warthogs. That's another good sign. And tons of babies. If there's a lot of poachers around, the babies are the first ones that get hammered. They're so easy. They'll send their dogs on them, or they'll catch them in the snares easier. So to see all those warthogs is excellent, excellent sign. Fantastic. That's an elephant herd in the middle of the day, which is very rare. I mean, the only time you'll see that is in an area where there's quite a few elephants and they're not being poached heavily, because normally the elephants will go totally nocturnal. They'll hang out in the thickest forest during the daylight hours and then move during the evening hours or early morning, if they move at all during daylight hours. Good scene. Really good scene. Bodes well for all the other animals, the other species in this area. That's a big herd of western roan. That's impressive. That's one of the glamour species of Africa, and cob. That's the animal we're actually looking for on this trip. So we're starting to see game now. The sun's starting to reach its zenith, which means that the animals are getting hotter. They're going for water. There's the male. Look at him. That's a Bouffon cob, and it's a big one.
far is that, Peter? Okay. How far is that, Peter? Okay. I was dead on him. A little bit back, not through the shoulders. So it'll be through the one lung, liver, and back out.
Okay.
Because he was quartered towards, if it's not too low.
Okay.
Did you see it?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, he'll be dead, it's just, I didn't put it through the shoulder.
Okay.
Just tracks. Maybe not. Is that him there? There he is, deer. Yeah. We got him. We got the bouffant cob. He's old, eh? Hey. He's ancient.
Old one.
Old, eh?
Old one.
Holy smoke. That's a bouffant cob. That's one of the two animals that we came to get. And he's beautiful. Orange, orange, orange. So gorgeous. He was just by himself. No females around. He's so old now, his horn's starting to broom off. They'll polish that off now, it'll just get shorter and shorter and shorter until it's just stubs. This would have been much longer when he was younger. We came all the way to Burkina Faso to see if we could find bouffant cob, hunt bouffant cob, and actually get a bouffant cob, and now we have. The guys will be eating well, their families will be eating well, we'll be eating well. And we've pretty much proven that there's a ton of animals in this area. The model's working, the $100, 20 hunters a year, 500,000 acres. You know, the villagers are pushed out of this area, and just the wildlife lives here. The wildlife's paying for its own land. Beautiful, perfect balance. It works. It works. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We had an incredible morning. We got our bouffant cob, one of the main animals we were after in this expedition into the wild lands of Burkina Faso. Right now we've stopped along the shores of this river to have a lunch. It's probably 115 degrees out in the sun, at least that, cooking hot. And I'm looking forward to having lunch with the guys. The guys have cut up the bouffant cob. It's la cour?
Okay.
The cœur?
Le foie.
The foie. So that's the heart, this is the liver. Okay, and then this is the lungs. You mange?
Oui.
Yeah, oui, mange. So that.
Ça, c'est...
Oh, diaphragm?
Voilà.
Diaphragm. Okay, so the diaphragm. What's... Oh, the spleen, that's the spleen. Amazing. I mean, there's nothing wasted on this animal. This is awesome. Look at that. He's using guinea fowl feathers from a guinea fowl.
Oui.
Ah. You know, he's already basted the heart. Now he's basting the liver. C'est bon. This is the best part of it. I mean, it's ultimately the reason why we hunt. You wouldn't normally be looking forward to a feast of kidneys, tripe, liver, heart, diaphragm, lungs. But out here, there's nothing more pure than this. No meal more pure than what we're preparing right now. These guys are preparing, and this isn't for show. This isn't for drama, and it's not contrived reality. This is the way it's been for 1,000 years. You can smell it already. Dijon? Moutarde. Moutarde.
Voilà.
Voilà.
On y va.
Okay. Time to eat. Oh, that is so good. It's bon, hein?
Très, très bon.
Très, très bon.
Ouais.
This is the kidney. So incredibly good. This is perfect. Making our way cross country right now. We hit the odd track as we're going through here that they push through on the dozers over the years. But for the most part, we've been just breaking trail ourselves. It's a fascinating country. I mean, you just put the sun on one side of you and go. We're gonna make it through this, make it through this gully, this drainage ditch. Wow, we made it through. All right, we did it. That's Western Road. A lot of animals in this area. Wow. Oh boy, an elephant's been poached here. An elephant's been poached here. Darn it. You can see the face has been cut right off. Looks like with an axe, not with a saw. They just chopped this elephant's face off. It would have had just small tusks, too, 5-6 pounds maybe. You can actually see the bullet holes. They used something small, AK-47, no doubt, with solids, and that's how they killed it. They shot in from behind in the brain. You can see the bones have all been chewed off, and that's hyena chewing all that down. The bottom jaw and the skin, right, the skin from the face actually. This elephant died for no reason. It wasn't killed to use the money to finance the protection of all the rest of the elephants. It was just killed. It was just killed. No reason, no justification, and no help to the rest of the elephants. In fact, it's just one less elephant. No management behind it, no science, no biology, just pure greed, pure greed. Darn it. Just one more step towards the end of all wildlife in this world. Shoot. So now we're making camp. This is our first evening à la forêt. En français is dans la forest, in the forest. We've already been snacking on the bouffon cob. We had the choice cuts today for lunch. It was fantastic. And we tried the diaphragm, the liver, the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the lining of the stomach, and the kidneys. It was the best of the best. Every second out there was worth it. It was amazing to see all that wildlife in West Africa. West Africa, where poaching is such a major problem these days. And then to come here on this 500,000 acres that we've just begun to scratch the surface on, and then find so many animals on the first day and get our bouffon cob, or cob de bouffon. Fantastic. It gives me hope. It's amazing how they cut that between their fingers, eh?
Oh, c'est pas.
Yeah, be careful, you end up with 7 fingers. It doesn't get better. This is living like kings. It's like living like kings.
And we are the king of this kingdom.
There's nobody else.
Nobody else. Yes, for me it's really freedom. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, this life.
Yeah. This is the truest we'll ever be to what we really are as human beings. Make sure to tell them, like, I'm honored to be able to share this time in the wildlands with them. Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. This is our supply truck. It's kind of nice to get resupplied. We're getting a little shy in water. The temperatures are 115 degrees outside during the day, and we're running through the water like crazy. So we had to get a bunch more water. Supply truck came in last night to resupply us. They said the chief of the village wanted a buffalo, and if we could try and get one for him. The biggest problem is, I don't want to say no to him, but I've got a 300 Win Mag with 180 grain accurate nozzle bullets, which is a very extremely light caliber. The buffalo were on the tracks of 3 lone bulls. You'll have to be extra careful.
Ne pars pas.
These guys are incredible. They're tracking almost at walking speed across hard, dry ground. Unbelievable. The buffalo won't have gone too far. We don't think it's too hot. Okay. Underneath that white sideways tree. We've seen them. We caught up to them now. Now we saw them. Real quiet, real quiet. They're running. Right, you know, the buffalo right ahead of us in this deep grass. Oh my God. There's one full second from the right. We just need the buffalo to make a mistake. Female bush buck. Now was staying in it out for a long time. And I think that he cannot stand up. If we want to shoot, let's go back around and approach by this way. It's not good with shot. I'm not gonna take a shot unless it's perfect.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, I don't have a bullet. I can hit him in the head. In the head. No, I don't have a bullet. I can hit him in the head. In the head. Yeah, you be ready. Just be careful. That bull is so old. Holy smokes. Oh, he's here. Oh, Sean. Oh, Sean. He's so old. Look at all his harness. It's all broomed off. As they get older, they break off the points and they start brooming them back. So the points get shorter and shorter. You can see there's another point, but the sheath used to be longer and longer. And it'll wear down. This one's getting just down to a stub. What an animal. What an animal. He's monstrous. That's a stunt I don't want to have to pull again. 300 Win Mag, but the village asked us to help out, so. If someone asks for help, you gotta help. The chief wants this one for meat. What a huge bull. You can't even move him. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful western savanna buffalo. That was a spooky hunt in this deep, deep, deep grass. Holy smokes. And the thick, thick forest. They could be anywhere in here. We just caught them just before they went down into the ravine and would have been gone. Holy smokes. Close. That was too close. This is an interesting process. They're going to load the entire buffalo in the back of our truck. And this is a new one for me because the buffalo weighs 1,200 pounds, at least maybe 1,300 pounds, and it's big, and the truck's not big. They've got this huge 1-inch manila rope wrapped around the horns of the buffalo and around a big limb up on the tree, and I assume they're going to try and pull it forward. But at that point, I don't know what's going to happen. I know the buffalo's going to go up, but how do you get it into the truck? That's amazing that rope holds with that knot. I don't get that.
Viens vers moi, viens vers moi, viens vers moi. Viens vers moi, viens vers moi. Voilà, viens vers moi, viens vers moi. Viens vers moi, viens vers moi.
It might do it. It might do it.
Encore, bravo,
That's incredible. They got the buffalo loaded in the back of this tiny little truck. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the buffalo now goes back to the village, and this buffalo, every single ounce will be used. Even the bones will be cooked up. They won't waste. There'll be nothing left over except what was inside the intestinal tract. That's it. And even that, they won't get rid of all that. There'll be a lot of that ends up in the soup. Incredible. Incredible. Gonna be a party tonight. We're visiting a Pula village right here. This is a nomadic tribe that's actually settled. So normally they'd be traveling here, there, and everywhere, but now they've settled. This is pretty cool. think it's cassava that they're pounding, I'm pretty sure. This is unbelievable. This is the reason we hunt. It's adventure, it's exploration, to see new places and people, to meet people that just live differently than what we live. I'm going to hopefully get a chance to get into Sado as one of our trackers, a local guy that's hired by $100, and he's invited us to his house. I mean, I can't wait. I think this might be him, but I'm not sure. Hello? Can I come in? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, look at this. Amazing. This is incredible, looking inside the poly home. You can see the gourds hanging on the wall, and the reed mats. It's a bed and real wide sort of supports for the bed. So it's actually off the ground, probably to keep the snakes and whatnot away. The lady's actually in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Wow. You know, there's nothing to fear, right? These are just people living their lives. They look differently, they dress differently. I mean, you know, to actually scar up your face, paint your lips green, that's just so different. We're not used to it, but that doesn't make these people anything to be afraid of. It doesn't make them bad. It just makes them different than us. The poly people, these people just live simply and beautifully.
C'est le notable du village.
It's an honor.
Ah,
Really an honor.
cool. Bon, maintenant l'assistance élève femmes et enfants. Ben, on a la troupe du village qui est là.
All the people these people are their wives, children.
Okay, of all the people in the village. I see, so this is a party time.
Yeah,
Party
party
time.
time.
It looks like we have a celebration, but we've also got all kinds of homemade beer, what they call de l'eau. Look at that. Aha! You drink?
Drink some with you?
Okay, I'll drink. Yeah, of course I will. Oh boy, here we go. Ah, it's good, eh? That's good. Thank you so much. There's going to be a party tonight, I can tell you that. Look at that. You can feel it's a visceral, primal beat that your body just wants to move. Now this is why we're here tonight. The meat's here now. Perfect. This is what it's all about right now. This is why there's animals in this area, is because of this. The meat's here, the meat was brought to them. They don't need to poach the animals. They get the meat. Look at that. Yeah, we are. These people don't want the animals to be dead. They want an alternative. The hunting is an alternative. 500,000 acres, 500,000 acres, paid for by $100. Paid for by $100. And these people are happy about it. They live here. Look at this. Yeah. Incredible. Incredible. You know, we're all here on this earth. We just have to explore tolerance. If you understand tolerance, you have no fear. If you have no fear, you have no hate. They're 30% Muslim, 30% Christian, 30% animist, pagans. These people are beautiful people. Look. It's been an incredible experience here in Burkina Faso, in West Africa, to share the wildlands and share the moon with these people, these beautiful people. No fear, no hatred. We can all learn from these people. We can learn about tolerance. And now the celebration's over. It's time to head on to the next adventure. We're leaving.
Most regard Somalia as a failed state. The reality, though, is that Somaliland in the north has declared independence from Greater Somalia and now is a new country building itself from scratch. Of course, things aren't perfect, and as in all cases where people are suffering, animals suffer too. But in one area at least, with the support of a North American backer who wishes to remain anonymous, the government here is creating a reserve for animals and a wildlife management plan, funded by hunter dollars and with the support of the local people. I'll be headed there to meet with the man spearheading this project, Steve Cobreen. Together, we'll be embarking on a journey across Somaliland to get a feet on the ground situation report.
He's pointing in the bottom. About a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind.
I'm gonna give him about 4 inches.
Keeping a pretty low profile here in Hargeisa at the airport. No one's come in here before. We've got firearms, so we're trying not to make a big scene about it. But we're here, we're in Hargeisa. All our luggage made it. We've cleared customs, and now we're heading into town to a hotel. And then we'll start working on getting everything organized. We're in our hotel. We have a meeting with the Minister of Environment tomorrow to talk over this project, the creation of the first national park in Somaliland. We've raised over $250,000 for this project already, and to put a wildlife management plan in place for Somaliland that isn't anti-hunting, that is sustainable and economically viable for the people. Really excited about this project.
going to meet with the Minister Shockey. She actually moved to the United States after the revolution started in 1988 and Somaliland declared independence from Somalia. Then she moved back to Somaliland because she loved her country and wanted to help. And got into politics, became the minister, very forward-thinking lady, visionary for her country.
We seceded from Somalia in 1991.
Yes.
But we joined Somalia in 1960 when we got our independence from the British. And they got their independence from the Italians. We united, and they become one Somalia. Thinking about getting the other Somalians also to join us, which is Djibouti, Region 5 of Ethiopia, and in northeastern Kenya.
Yeah.
So, it would be a greater Somalia country. But unfortunately, Djibouti got independence and they did not join the Union. Ethiopia, Region 5 was given to Ethiopia.
Northeast.
So LFD was given northeastern was also given Kenya.
Yeah.
So we two did not get along. In our perception, they really treated us very bad.
Yes.
The division of we
Didn't
became,
share.
kind of
Yeah, a colony of
the South.
which is why you left in the first place in 1960. So
We really won the war. And then we succeeded from them, had our own flag,
Money,
currency,
claiming
currency, yeah.
currency, claiming our
democratic elections.
Yeah. So for 25 years we were building this nation from scratch. And here we are today. But
And
it's still-
what I find is so amazing is people like Minister Shockey, who had settled in other countries, came back to help build this place.
To help build, yeah.
Gave up their lives that they had made in places like Canada and America and came back for the greater good of Somaliland, which I find
Well,
very
and
impressive.
it is recognized and it's appreciated. This is the donor from North America. That's appreciation for what you've accomplished here. This is a safe place in a part of the world where it's sometimes a little unstable, and you've done a great job for democracy. And now if we can help on the wildlife side, for wildlife management, and to create the national park, that's perfect. That's what the donor, that's his dream, is to help Somaliland with that.
Well, we are looking forward to work with you.
You're starting the right way with for wildlife, number one, and then, with the parks and whatnot, create the proper wildlife management plan going into the future, then it's very responsible of you for the wildlife, and it's appreciated from all of us that love wildlife.
That's it.
So we thank you guys. It's very, very helpful.
You're welcome. Our meeting with the Minister of Environment went well this morning. She's definitely on board, understands the program, and is very thankful that we've raised the $250,000 to create the first national park. They don't get any international support. No dollars come in from the World Bank, no loans. They're not beholden to anybody. So in that sense, they can't be forced into accepting a wildlife management plan that's anti-hunting, for instance. If it is possible that it could sustain itself, be more like the North American model of wildlife management, then they understand it. She understands it, and the government of Somaliland is thankful that we've given them this opportunity with the funding to start this project. This has been a long project in the works, in the making. Steve's spearheaded it from the beginning, and it's a landmark.
Adventure for the next couple of weeks.
It's an adventure, but it's a landmark in hunting and conservation. It truly is a perfect mixture of both.
Hargeisa, a very interesting city here in Somaliland. In the mornings, it's active with vehicles, but also with people walking. And even though there's rubble and garbage laying just about everywhere, the people themselves are dressed immaculately. I'm the scruffiest one in this entire city right now. The ladies here wear a hijab or a shibab, but for the most part here in Somaliland, it covers their hair and only their face shows. The hijab goes full length right down to the ground, and it can be in any color, really. Greens, pinks, reds, black, and it's all about fashion for the ladies. They decide what they want to wear. The other thing I've noticed is the animals. I mean, goats everywhere in the middle of downtown. It's an interesting place, very interesting. There also seems to be no main thoroughfares. We're taking little side roads that apparently cut off into a better road to get us to the outside of the city. And it's a different route every single time we travel.
This country lost 50% of the domestic animals in this drought. It was that bad.
When did it start?
The worst recorded drought. Well, they missed the last rainy season. Luckily, when we arrived, they had the first rain in probably close to a year.
Yeah, well, you see there's a little bit of green on the acacia
the green
trees.
flush.
Yeah. Holy smokes, I mean, that just says it all.
Terrible misfortune for a country that's trying so hard, and then they get hit with this. It's very sad. They actually sell their animals. They don't just stockpile them as money. They get sold, put on ships in Berbera, and sent to the Arabian Peninsula.
For meat.
For meat. You know, we can keep money in a bank or have a house. These are nomadic people, so everything they own is really, every bit of value they have is in their animals. So, yeah, it's very sad.
And the wildlife. That's what we have to check.
That's what we're trying to change.
Yeah, and
give
also
value to the wildlife, so then they can be its custodian, and then they get a benefit from both.
Exactly. Then when this happens, the wildlife survives. Hopefully, I mean, we'll find that out as we go through here.
Yeah.
You know,
that's part of the mission.
That's our hopeful hypotheses.
Yes.
Safe right now. We've got one of our Somaliland police special security unit guys here with his AK-47. I assume that's what that is. And another one on this window hanging on. It's truly one of the safest places in Africa. And it's because there's a respect for these guys, these security forces that we have to have with us when we're traveling out here. It's because of them that there is any particular danger. It's just the rules of the land here, and we abide by the rules, and they're nice to have along. You say that's 100 yards?
106.
106 yards.
Not bad. That's dead on.
It's
They're on high.
1 inch left,
Yeah.
dead center. So, but I mean, you're guessing the distance, how much it would drop.
1 inch to the left, which could be wind.
Using a Thompson Center Encore Pro Hunter in a caliber that's called a 300 Blackout. And it's a 220 grain bullet, a tiny, tiny little bullet like that. And it's subsonic, so it's quieter. Here in Somaliland, we don't want to be making a big, the hills are alive with the sound of guns going off. And then we've been asked specifically by the ministry not to do that, to make as quiet as we can. So
is what we're using, and it's a custom barrel and a really cool loophole scope. We're asking the goat herders in the area if they've seen any Byra antelope.
We say I'm traveling for right now for the past in here.
Just talked to a couple of herders. They've only come to this area today, but in the past, on this hill, they've seen Byra antelope. The traditional name of this whole area is the Byra Hills. That truly is one of the most unusual species. It's its own genus. It's not related very closely to any other antelope. Can't interbreed with any other antelope. We're 100% going to be trying to find one of these for the scientific side of this whole project. Open up the national park and set up a wildlife management plan for Somaliland. We're going to walk to the mountains here to look for Byra antelope. Walk the mountains here to look for Byra antelope. This is rotten, dishonest rock. Every step you have to be careful. You can twist your ankle here in a heartbeat. It makes it tough to look for them because you're always watching your feet.
The Byra crouches down where they nearly touch their rear to the ground when they defecate. So they leave a tight little pile, whereas a goat just walks along and spreads them out. So here's Byra. They've been here. And here they've made a bed. They've scraped it with their feet. You see how the males scrape? So we found...
This is before the rain. This last 3 days there was rain. This bed, sometime before the rain.
Well, it could be in between the rain.
Right, but they're here.
They're here. There's nowhere to go.
It's got to be here, right?
That rain's quite pretty.
What?
That rain.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be leopard tortoise, eh? Don't you think?
I think that's the size of a leopard tortoise.
No, they get way bigger. Well, the ones in Ethiopia were huge. Unclean?
He doesn't think it's clean to be touching. There's the end piece. Anyway.
Not allowed. You have to be careful what you touch. Anything to do with pork, obviously, but apparently this is unclean too. So, and we're their guests, so we have to respect their traditions, their religion. Right now is prime time when the Byra should be getting up and starting to move around to feed. We should be able to spot them, but we can't stay. We have to go back into Hargeisa. They have a curfew, 6 p.m. curfew for any expats. Any of us have to be locked in behind guarded walls by 6 p.m. every night. In fact, they broke some of their rules by letting us even leave the compound. The pilots and the flight attendants that stay overnight, we talked to them in Hargeisa. They're not allowed to leave that area. It's company policy. So we've had a bit of an exception to get out here, but we have to get back by 6 p.m. for curfew. safe as this country is, you don't want to be out here after dark, not in this area. Too. Interesting city. It's pretty typical of East Africa. I mean, dry, dusty. The little huts that the people live in are different. They're covered in rags, basically. So they look like little wrapped up patchwork quilts. That's really fantastic. That's northern Gerenak, one of the antelope that we're actually looking for on this particular expedition. They say there's a fair few of them, and I mean, that's obvious. And it's also obvious that they're not being hunted. They're not being poached, because they were spooky enough to leave, but that's 300 yards. If they were being shot at from vehicles and a lot of poaching going on, they would have been gone way quicker than that. We found northern Gerenak, videoed them, documented it. We know they're here. And from that, the scientists will be able to actually look on a satellite map, topography map of this area, and know that if there's Gerenak in this habitat, they're going to be in that habitat because it's the same habitat. And we'll be able to do a census based on that, a very accurate census, actually. It's prayer time, so we stop. It may not be what we do. I mean, not in the same way, but it's the way they do it. So we're here as their guests, observers, not sitting in judgment. He's praying. God is great. Doesn't matter what religion. It's tough because it's all brand new. Never been here before. No one's really hunted these Byra antelope, so we're trying to figure it out. And every try, how many efforts you put towards a given style, and then, you know, do you give one shot at it, two shots, or do you give up after the one? We don't know. We don't know any of it. I hate just relying on luck, but we're going to keep looking. Found this gentleman, and he says that there's over here 4 Byra, over there 3 Byra, and on the hill we were, not where we were yesterday, but the next one further down there's 8 Byra. So we'll see if he can show us where these are. Our local fellow, he's helping out, he's joined the team. He's going to take a loop out through this country and see if he can find them. And if he does find them, then signal us and we'll come up. He'll look a lot quicker and in the right spots than we can look, because he knows where he's seen them over his lifetime, and his father saw them and his grandfather saw them. Our local fellow just came over the top, and apparently he must have spotted a Byra, I guess. Found 2 over the
edge. He said, "When's a male?" And he said, "I said, do they go?" He said, "No, no." He said, "That's local knowledge, eh?" They're there. They're starting to run now. He found two over the edge. He said, "One's a male." And he said, "I said, do they go?" And he said, "No, no." He said, "That's local knowledge." This guy's a hunter. How far is that one? It's 142, it's too far. It won't do us any good to get to these bushes. He's gonna go over. He sees us. And that's a tiny target. There's no way. Mohammed, we must be closer. Out the gun. I can't shoot that far. It's 140 yards, but it drops almost 12 inches. And there's a wind. Hasn't rained here in a year. They were suffering through one of the worst droughts they've ever had in Somaliland history. They feel that something like 40 to 60% of their livestock died in the last year because no rain. And the rains have come. It's just literally on the second day of our hunt. Here come the rains. We made it back to the hotel/motel. We have something good for tomorrow. That's Mohammed, the fellow that we met up with today. He showed us that one. I mean, I could have shot 146 yards, but I just not confident to take that shot. Not today. There's just too much wind, and I didn't have I would have had to do a standing shot on the trigger sticks, which is great, but it's there's time. So tomorrow morning we've set it up where we meet up with him, and he's gonna show us around there. He seems to know where the Byra antelope are, so I've got fingers crossed. In the meantime, it's time for dinner. He's pointing back up, so he must have news about Byra, hopefully. How much wind? Mohammed's just come out of the hills. We've only arrived here 5 minutes ago, and he's pointing back up, so he must have news about Byra, hopefully. Says there's 4 up here. They seem to, if I understood, they just sat. And then he says there's 9 on this hill. Yesterday he said there's none on that hill. Now today there's 9, so I don't know.
But the wind? Like this? You don't think we need to go like that?
Said that. You're not afraid of the goats. You go with the goats.
Okay, let's just follow Mohammed out.
Three. Byron. Down in the bottom. See the big gray face there?
Yeah.
Just on the right edge of it. See the big gray face?
Right, with the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, just go to the right of it. They're in the trees. They're there. They're starting to run now.
Yeah.
The two females and a young one have run along the bottom. Super switched on spooky.
He's pointing at the bottom. How far out?
Oh, I see him.
Are we looking too close?
Which one is he, Steve?
He's in the middle.
I see. Oh, I see. The one looking up at us?
Yes, the one looking up at us. That looks like a ram to me. 147.
Okay. They're not spooked or anything, right? Which one's a male?
He's walking. The one in the front is definitely a male. That's the ram.
Steve, I gotta brace my foot.
You solid?
Yeah, I just have to, that's a super long shot, eh? And there's wind. I can hold it. How much wind?
About a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Okay, I'm gonna give him about 4 inches. Which one is he, Steve?
He's in the middle.
I see. Oh, I see. The one looking up at us?
Yes, the one looking up at us. That looks like a ram to me. 147.
Okay. They're not spooked or anything, right? Which one's a male?
He's walking. The one in the front is definitely a male. That's the ram.
Steve, I gotta brace my foot.
You solid?
Yeah, I just have to, that's a super long shot, eh? And there's wind. I can hold it. How much wind?
About a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Okay, I'm gonna give him about 4 inches.
Dead.
I ain't far back.
That's a Byron ram, Jim.
No, you gotta be kidding me. It's good.
And he just walked over here and he goes, there.
Yeah, like there.
I mean, really? They have incredible eyesight. Incredible. You can't do this really without
No, you need the local
who knows what to look for.
a birantle. I mean, it's like a huge big deal. Hey, there's you, James Mellon.
James Mellon, then me, then you.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm unloaded. We're good. Let's go. Have to be so careful on these rocks, whether the hunt for the byra's over or not. You still got to get back safe and sound. So carefully. Holy smokes, Steve.
That is your byra.
Holy smokes.
How beautiful they are.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
huge ears.
For getting rid
I
of...
think it's for heat and it's for hearing rolling stone. In an open environment and with this rocky part hearing, at least that's what Kingdon writes.
The color is spectacular. It's like a bluey mauve almost.
Yeah.
Huge big eyes.
And
Look at that. So it's not...
They're almost like a clip springer. See, it's sponge.
Yeah, sponge underneath for the rocks and a hard outer border so they can...
And this, which, as far as I can tell, is for when they crouch down to do that little dung ceremony. It must be why that's calloused.
That's crazy.
I find them to be one of the neatest animals in all of Africa.
Yeah. Well, you figure it's a top 10 animal in Africa.
Oh, yeah. I put it in the top 5 for me.
Well, that's pretty impressive. When Steve Colbreen rates an animal in the top, this will be going back to North America.
This will be, yeah. It very well might be the only mounted Byra in a museum in Canada.
It's actually a project that you started to create the first national park in Somaliland, first ever.
Yeah.
And to set up a wildlife management plan that will sustain the wildlife until, who knows, I mean, generations into the future, with an economic benefit back to the locals, which we're all explaining to them, showing them right now. This will go like wildfire through all these communities. These herders made this much money to come out here. They'll protect them. They'll all want to be part of it. It takes people with vision. It takes you to come into a country where everyone says you can't go, it's dangerous. It's not dangerous.
Not dangerous
and they're looking for help.
Friendly people, wonderful place. They're looking for it.
Exactly, they're looking for help. Of course, I came in with a huge donor who wants to remain unnamed. Thank you if you're watching.
Yes, thank you very much.
On behalf of all the wildlife in Somaliland and people that care about wildlife around the world. Yeah, it's incredible. Steve Colbreen,
thanks.
It's really, truly an honor to be sharing the Somaliland Byra Hills with you. And that's no guff.
It's good being here with you.
A lot of people think about skinning an animal as big butcher knives and Bowie knives, but in fact we're using almost scalpel blades. In fact, they are scalpel blades.
Yeah.
That's for the precision that it takes to actually preserve the skin, because this animal is not just for the meat. The meat will obviously be used, every ounce of it, but this is for science, museums, knowledge of these animals. I mean, people think about hunting as kind of a rough, harsh thing, but in fact, the precision that it takes to even skin properly a tiny animal like this, it's not what people think. Hunters know. Every little tiny bit of meat has to come off. You don't want it attached to the hide because the hide has to survive a long, long journey and then will be mounted by artists. They'll sculpt a body form. There's no form made for this, doesn't exist, I assume, eh?
Part of the reason we're bringing a skeleton back,
right,
so they can make an anatomically correct form for the museum.
Okay, start back. Steve's tracing the outline of the actual body of the Byra antelope. We'll take this back to North America, so then the artists that will reconstruct the shape of the body will know the exact sizes. We'll take pictures of the body as well, the musculature.
Making a brine with salt. Gotta get the skin, take care of as quickly as possible. Good.
Okay.
Good. Now we need to get this brine all perfect.
And the salt will set the hair follicles, kill the bacteria. The bacteria in the hair follicles will rot away the hair follicles before it ever gets back to North America.
Fall out.
The hair will fall out. It's called slipping.
Keep that at your feet, so where the...
Here, I gotta pay this guy. Here's exactly how it works. Where are you? There you go. Okay. That's paying him for helping out. That goes back that he just made more money right now than he will make in the next 6 months probably.
All right, we gotta roll.
So we're gonna run.
Let's go!
We've got the bones of the Byra. We have to work on that later today. We're moving on, leaving this rather luxurious place for a place without power, without showers, without wireless, without probably cell phone. We're going into the deepest part of Somaliland today to look for Phillips Dick and Speaks Gazelle. From there, Pelton Gazelle. This is where the adventure really starts. Once you hit the desert, there's no real road. There's various trails where they see each other, where cars meet each other and they cut out to the side and weave back and forth. It's like 10 snakes that have made a trail across this desert. Just pick and choose the one you think is the least dusty or the least bumpy. We've arrived at, I think, the place we're going to be staying at for the next few days at least. The property, or at least the home, of a fairly well-to-do Somaliland citizen who studied in North America, has a doctorate in, I think it's agriculture. And he's offered up his place, or at least the guest house part of his place for us to stay at. Steve came through here a year ago. This was all green, verdant. Maybe not fecund, but at least it was growing and healthy. Right now, rough. Hopefully the wildlife's doing okay. I'm continuing through Somaliland with my friend and world-class adventurer Steve Cobrain.
This is the man.
On a mission to explore the remote mountainous region of Dalaba and to report on the state of wildlife there to the Somaliland Ministry of Environment.
They're looking forward to it.
Steve and I, along with an anonymous donor, hope that these reports will lead to the establishment of Somaliland's first national park and the creation of a scientifically based wildlife management plan. A plan that would protect Somaliland's wildlife for future generations, 100% paid for by hunter dollars.
Yeah, Big Steve, go ahead.
I mean, the entire world flooded here, man.
My friend Mahmoud allowed us to stay in this house. He left it because the drought just forced him away. There was no water here. Unfortunately, his experimental farmhouse trees have died, but a lovely man allowed us to stay here and use this as our base.
What's your cup?
Cut off water bottle, but I have to say the empty salt container is probably better.
A cup of joe in the morning.
Are you still talking already?
This is my buddy Steve Coburn. This is the man. This guy does stuff that people dream and talk about. He does it in Africa. Without you, I mean, I couldn't do what I do.
Thanks.
Not a chance. You're the man that spearheads it all. So our first day, we've just left our little hut that we spent the night on the floor. Steve woke up this morning with about an 8-inch millipede crawling across his face. It's a little rustic. We'll be heading to an area they call Donlambao. It's a mountain range or an escarpment that apparently, from what we understand, has the greatest diversity of ecosystems of anywhere in Somaliland. That's the place that we are trying to turn into a national park. Steve's been working on that for about 5 years. I got involved about 2 years ago. I raised the funding to create this national park. It was $250,000 that we gave through the Amaruli Foundation to the Somaliland Ministry of Environment. We want a national park for Somaliland, and of course they want a national park. It'll take an act of the Somaliland Parliament to do that. Phillips Dick speaks gazelle, and the Peltson's gazelle are the main big antelope species we're looking for. It's going to be a day of discovery and looking at new land. We don't know of anybody that's been through here since the 60s, at least from our part of the world. Man's made a plan. Now it's just up to God or Allah to laugh at us or say, it's a go. The biggest problems they have in this part of the world is they're denuding the landscape of all trees to make charcoal. 3.5 million people that live in this country, and they all need to cook their dinners, boil their water. It's totally illegal, right?
Yeah. And this is probably the biggest threat to Somaliland's wildlife.
One of the guys started running. The biggest problems they have in this part of the world is they're denuding the landscape of all trees to make charcoal. It's totally illegal, right?
Yeah. And this is probably the biggest threat to Somaliland's wildlife.
Yeah.
You take these very old trees and cut them down just for charcoal, then everything goes. All the way down to eventually the topsoil, the wind blows it all away.
Yeah. One of the guys started running.
Take more.
No, not photo.
They're about to light this charcoal pile. They've basically confiscated it. And these young fellows that were working here, I mean, that's their livelihood. What are they going to do? I mean, they're going to go chop down a whole bunch more trees to replace this charcoal that's going to be up in flames. These people have to have a way to make money, and they have to have a way to heat their homes in the cold nights. You got to solve that problem. Confiscating these people, their work it doesn't do it. Now, what we can do from our side is we can create a national park, which is one of the reasons Steve and I are here. Once we do that, then there'll be funds to actually enforce the boundaries of the park, to protect the boundaries, keep these people from coming in. So at least there'll be one enclave for the wildlife. And that little bit will help. And if everybody does their little bit, then in the end, hopefully it adds up to protecting wildlife, protecting these trees, yet giving these people an economic solution to chopping down all these trees.
Somaliland. Yes.
Yeah, Somaliland. No, Somalia. Somaliland. Yeah. In 1991, or go back further, in about 1960, Somaliland joined with Puntland and Somalia to create Somalia. Now the problem was Eritrea was supposed to join as well, and a chunk of Kenya. Those two parts of this big country didn't join to declare independence from the British, the Italians colonizing them at the time. So Somaliland ended up being part of Somalia. That wasn't the intention. It never happened like they believed it would. So in 1990, approximately 1991, Somaliland declared independence from Somalia. They actually had a civil war. There were apparently planes took off, warplanes from the Hargeisa airport to bomb Hargeisa at the time. And then that's what he's saying. There's, boom, boom, boom. So many people, Somaliland citizens, have died for independence from Somalia back in 1991. And here it's 2017. Somaliland has been independent since 1991, and they're still not recognized by the major countries in the world as being independent of Somalia. Even though they run their own government, they have their own schooling system, they're 100% separate from Somalia. But the major powers in the world don't recognize it. Ethiopia does. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're independent. We spotted a Speaks gazelle, and Steve's just looking at it to make sure it's old enough right now, and we're going to make a stalk at it. There's no way to sneak up on this animal. So all you can do is act like when the locals walking for their herd, going to visit a neighbor. That's all we can do. He's starting to stomp his foot. He's gonna walk away here. Look at us.
159.
He's down.
We did it.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Look at that. Yeah, you can see the flabby nose on them.
Their most distinguishing feature. It can inflate this entire thing into a ball about the size of a lemon here.
Hence the reason they called it flabby nose.
Right.
So he's actually
There's the flab.
Yeah, he's actually got long hair.
For a desert animal.
Really surprised.
I mean, this is much longer hair than, for instance, an impala. And I think it's because you get cold nights in the desert. It's its own full species that lives only here, so there's nothing else really like it.
That's incredible.
Very unique.
Look where it is, too.
Yeah.
Who would have thought you'd find anything in a place like this?
Somaliland's filled with many unique creatures.
Yeah, and this is named after Speke, the explorer.
Who essentially discovered the source of the Nile as Lake Victoria.
How many people have been in here? How many scientists even have been in here since Speke's time?
Just me and one. People with a scientist in previous exploration that had a Speke's to look at.
Yeah.
Just one.
And that's in 100 years.
Yeah.
This animal will now end up back in North America.
Yeah. In a museum.
In a museum.
For other people to see,
right,
learn from.
Yeah, good shooter.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good shooter.
That's a really beautiful animal, dude.
This is cod. It's some kind of a leaf that grows in Ethiopia. They import 100,000 kilos a day, 250,000 pounds of this leaf per day from Ethiopia to Somaliland. And they all chew it, or the men chew it. I'm not sure about the women. It's just a little leaf. But it obviously has some kind of a stimulant. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a narcotic, but I don't know. And I'm unwilling to experiment by trying it, so we'll just assume that it's something good and healthy and green, part of a well-balanced diet here in Somaliland.
Kanal.
Huh?
I'm Galu.
We're trying to learn each other's language. I'm scooping what he's pooping, except for the actual meaning of the words. Gala, gala. But I know one thing: the louder you say it, and the more aggressive you are, the closer you are to the sound that you're supposed to make when you speak in this language. Gala, 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 gala.
This is Galon.
Gala. Ah, okay. Gala, gala.
Argoni mera. Hello, Hadi. Argoni mera.
Ah, very good. We've pulled into the little town of Goa, and we've drawn a bit of a crowd. There just hasn't been many people from the West here in this area, in this town even. Who knows for how long. We're on a quest here in Goa. Steve's mattress went kaput last night, so he's trying to find a new mattress. Ah.
Yeah, how much? How much?
How much?
How much?
One solar. She say 55,000.
For good
Make
night's sleep.
discount no same. Discount.
This is the greatest thing. This is wonderful.
I'm sleeping on a little camp mattress, about 2 inches. 2 people can sleep. 2 people.
Beautiful.
Well, sure it's beautiful.
The glorious mattress that I will share with no one. If we can get a bigger aluminum pot.
I'm trying to buy a pot. Pardon?
8 plus 12. $20.
$20.
Yeah.
20.
20.
Hey. 25 and 5. $20.
Yep, good. Perfect. Thank you so much. We are eating this. Clean, good, beautiful. We didn't spend a lot of money here, probably $100 US, maybe a little bit more, but the impact it makes on this little community that never sees any tourism at all, I mean, at all, it makes a difference. It's just commerce, it's economics 101, and it's pure common sense. You come in, you spend money here, the village gets excited, something's new, they're having fun, they're enjoying the people from the West coming in and spending money on things that, I mean, are pretty exotic things, I guess, a mattress. So it's all good, it's all good. And it's, in one way, hunters are like ambassadors. Hunters, explorers, even the scientists that come in. We're all the same, and we're ambassadors from our part of the world. So hopefully we've shown them that hunters make the wildlife more valuable to them. Simple equation. This is my bed down on the floor. Pretty nice. This is Steve's room. Yesterday, he picked up this giant, huge mattress. He calls it the Glory.
Hey, watch out. That's
Totally spoiled. I know, I just showed him my bedroom. Look at the difference. It's like, why do you get the suite, the presidential suite?
So I can spread out. Do the spread eagle.
Two locals from the village just came to the gate of our compound and told us that the Somaliland Garandi hunters, the aardvark hunters, have found an aardvark den with an aardvark in it. It's one that's been digging up the fields, the local fields. So we're headed there now as quick as he can to observe and learn about this hunt.
These are the Garandi hunters of the Somali desert. They actually were out last night, chased it, couldn't catch it, but it went down into this warren, which is the main den of an aardvark. What happens, the Garandis, the aardvark, at night come out of these burrows, these warrens, and go out into the fields, the farm fields. This may not look like a farm, but it actually is. The people live in the local village. This is where they grow their crops when it's not a drought. But you see what happens? The ants dig their ant hills in the field, and then along comes the aardvark, or the Garandi, at night, and this is what he does. He digs out. This is an old one, you can see, but this is fresh. Fresh. Now imagine if this was a crop of maize or corn, and this village came out in the morning and this chunk of land was ruined. All the crop was destroyed because the aardvark, or the Garandi, dug up this part of their field and their corn. It's devastating for the family.
I don't know where it is.
These are the Garandi hunters of the Somali desert. And they actually were out last night, chased it, couldn't catch it, but it went down into this warren, which is the main den of an aardvark. The Garandi, it came busting out of there like a giant kangaroo on steroids. It was fast and powerful. Thump, thump. They all chased it for probably 400 yards and it went down another hole. So now they're starting the digging process again. The guys have just heard the Garandi, and so they started digging again. What they found, they got down into the actual tunnel part. They found 2 of these. This is what the local farmers are using to control the Garandi, and that's poison. They kill these with poison and slide it down the holes and hope the Garandi comes and drinks it, eats it. I don't know what the poison looks like. It's got to be something soluble in water, but they're going to wipe out these Garandis in the area where they live. I mean, we all did it. North America, we did it too. We got rid of the wolves and grizzly bears because, you know, they were predating on our livestock. Well, these Garandis, even as interesting as they are as animals and as sort of unobtrusive as you think they are, they're not. They dig up their crops. Uh-oh, watch out. They've dug down into where the Garandi was digging for. They could hear, and they kept digging ahead, wherever they could hear. And they broke down through the top and with this big bar. Holy smokes. They're happy. This Garandi that moved into the area is destroying their crops is dead, and they're happy about it. They're happy about it.
I find these animals some of the most interesting in Africa.
Well,
to me,
yeah, I agree.
These are the prototypical mammal. You know, the aardvark's sort of unchanged for millions of years.
Yeah, 50 million years, they haven't changed at all.
They haven't changed.
You know, the sad part is they're not actually eating the crops, but they're eating the ants and the termites that live on the crops and digging them up, and so that's why they poison them. Look at these feet, eh?
Yeah. Look. Their nose is filled with hair.
Yeah. So they
see, these hairs close it off so that they don't breathe the dust in.
The Garandi hunters of the Somali desert killed it. It was one they tried to poison, they couldn't poison, and they dug it out and killed it. Now everybody's come from a mile away to celebrate this, to be part of it. They're going to eat now. They're going to eat. It's a simple thing. Wouldn't you be happy about that? Wouldn't anybody be happy about that? If the thing that was taking your food that made your family survive was killed. Today's the big day. We're headed to Gahan Labat. That's the hand of the lion, they call it. The place that we've selected as the national park. Today's the big day. We're headed to Gahan Labat. That's the hand of the lion, they call it. The place that we've selected as the national park.
We're up on top of the escarpment now, and the habitat has changed completely. It almost looks like there's even some pine forest in here. The top of this escarpment is part of the Gaan-Labat National Park proposal. Thicker forest cover, taller trees, far less people here too. Perfect place for a national park. Welcome to Gaan-Labat, the Hand of the Lion National Park here in Somaliland. It was a park that was originally picked as a potential park by the British when they colonized this area back in Victorian times in the 1880s, 1890s. But it's never been made into an actual park, and now with hunter dollars and the will, this is going to be Somaliland's first national park. All the wildlife protected, the habitat protected, the flora, fauna protected. Look how beautiful it is. Look how beautiful. Mountains rising out of the desert, the Golis mountain range in Somaliland. Wow.
I mean, I find it one of the nicest countries in Africa. Yeah. Diligent about security, so the world will know that it's a safe place to come. What they really need is recognition at this point now, you know?
And to get the international recognition from the big countries, they have to, one step is show that they're taking care of their wildlife. They have a Ministry of Environment and Rural Development, and this is who we're working with to create this national park and put in place a national wildlife management plan that will protect the wildlife going forward for generations. Hopefully pro hunting, but that's not a stipulation. There's no strings attached to the money that we provided. As we travel further towards the coast, the vegetation is changing. A lot more rain out here as we head into the area that we're hoping to find the Peltson's gazelle. They only live along a tiny strip of the coastline into Djibouti, and they're part of the Dorcas gazelle family. No idea if we'll find the gazelle that we're looking for. It's entering the unknown. Incredible. This storm has come through, a shower, a squall, and almost turned the desert to a lake. Yeah, Big Steve, go ahead.
I mean, the entire world is flooded here, man. There's barely a piece of mud underwater.
Yeah, Big Steve, go ahead.
I mean, the entire world is flooded here, man. There's barely a piece of mud underwater.
No, this is a lake now, Steve, and the problem is these guys are going to hit one of these ditches, one of these holes, and dump these. All I know is our road that we came in on is now under 3 feet of water beside us. Normally a rain shower isn't something you have to be too concerned about. In an area like this that hasn't had a drop of rain in a year, the soil doesn't absorb the water, it runs off. And as it gathers in channels, you end up with raging torrents
that come up in a matter of minutes, and it takes hours for them to go down. As all this runoff off this entire desert works through those channels. If you don't recognize the deep spots, you can dump one of these well over the roof. We got through the pathway of that monster squall that came through. It probably dropped 6 to 10 inches of rain in maybe an hour, 2 hours max. And now we're past it, traveling through the desert like we started. Incredible, the transformation of this country from desert to lake, and now back to desert again. In our Western world, we're so used to roads, we take them for granted, highways. This is a major highway in Somaliland that connects up Hargeisa with Berbera up through the north. This is the highway. Just a swath cut right through the desert. Steve, old enough?
Oh, yeah, it's big.
I think so too, yeah.
It's really the longest I've ever seen.
We've just seen the first Peltson's gazelle out on the flat plains. How far is it?
92.
We've just seen the first Peltson's gazelle out on the flat plains. How far is it?
92.
Peltson's gazelle, huge one.
Are you kidding me?
Monster, eh?
I thought it was submarines.
I know. Really big Peltsons. I told you. That is a beautiful ram. Look how short the hair is compared to the speaks.
He's gorgeous. No black stripe like the speaks.
Yep.
Black tail.
White rump patch.
It's a perfect
growth there, a lot of it. You see that?
Yeah, he's ancient.
Ancient, yeah.
Ancient,
very old ram.
Yeah. He had no females with him. He's just by himself. He's been kicked out of the herd. He's not going to in any way reproduce. So we'll do all the measurements, take rumen samples, tissue samples.
And start getting a database. We have all of that from the ones I took last year with the bow, and now we'll double the knowledge we have.
Right, because you got one with the bow last year, and this is the second one. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
That's it, yeah. It's cooking out here.
Yeah.
I mean, how they survive.
You can feel them heating up. So let's get them to the shade.
Yeah.
And start taking samples and get the skin off and do all the science.
Yeah. I hate rushing, eh? Like, this is the moment of respect as a hunter to the animal that we've just hunted. I mean, we shared this wildlands with them. We have to get the hides back.
A hot desert like this.
Yeah, Steve Coburn, it's an honor.
Thanks, Jim.
To share the wildlands with one of the last great explorers on this planet, maybe the last great explorer. Is it good?
It's like prime rib.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. You know, maybe I'm waxing poetic here, being a romantic, but sitting underneath this sheep hut in the middle of the desert in Somaliland, eating our Pelton's gazelle. I think after 4 years of searching the world, and I mean, you know how much I've traveled, every remote spot, every uncharted spot, I may have found the perfect balance on a hunt. The thing I've been searching for that I thought I'd never find, and that's when you have the combination of culture, you've got the conservation side of it, you've got science working, and you've got hunting. It's a perfect balance. And then to be eating the animal, something we've done as humans since the beginning of human time. I mean, this is a balance, and you can't. I mean, you got to come to this place in this uncharted part of the world. There's no people, no vehicles, no nothing. You know, so many places around the world, I feel despair. You know, the people are pushing in, and people have to eat. They have to raise their crops. They have to have their livestock, and it pushes the wildlife out. And I feel despair for the wildlife. But here in this place, and because you got here early enough, you know, you were here 5 years ago starting this process, and it's working, and there's hope for the wildlife.
There really is.
But it took until 2017 for the scientists to realize they need the hunters to realize they need the scientists, to realize that hunters are explorers. You need their skills. They have knowledge that you can't find in a book or online. You know, so you work together for the conservation of a wildlife species in an entire country. And then you've got the will of the people in the country to actually put into effect what the scientists say should be done with the hunters' knowledge and skills to give the scientists the knowledge that they need to be able to do the studies. I mean, it's finally a perfect balance. But 2017, what's happened in the last 100 years? Why have we not been able to put this together?
We sort of opened the floodgates here, I think. You know, we cracked the code in Somaliland, so I think scientists, more people will start coming here.
We've cracked the code to save and preserve wildlife for every generation going forward 100 times. Here in Somaliland, we've cracked the code to save wildlife.
Not only here, but all around the world.
It works. It's a model that works everywhere. Wow. I finally found what I've been searching for 30 years, especially the last 5 years of Uncharted. Found it in the Somaliland desert, eating Pelton's gazelles with our friends from a foreign country in a remote land, with friends that understand conservation, fellow hunters. I'm happy. There's hope. There's hope. In the end, there's hope. My search is over. My search is over. There are many unsung conservationists in this world. I'd like to give special thanks to my friends Jimmy John and Leslie Leoto. Season 5 of Uncharted is over. It's hard to believe. Like all the other years, this past year was filled with adventure and expeditions into the unknown. There were good times, and there were not so good times, times of discomfort, which in a way is how you measure the magnitude of an adventure. In which case, Season 5 would have scored very high on the Richter scale of discomfort. Season 5 of Uncharted didn't have any charging hippos or close encounters with animals of the dangerous kind, which is a good thing from my perspective. But we did face dangers of a different kind. How's it going?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Having fun.
Did James mention there's a cyclone just off the coast here?
Yes, we've heard about it. Excellent.
Yeah, it's great. Isn't it? Good timing.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Yeah. What else is new?
Okay, well,
we'll see. We've been warned that way, everybody. Cyclone, so it's obviously pretty serious.
Worst case scenario would be that for about 4 days we may not be able to get back up there. And they're predicting it's going to hit as a category 4. So it's
Category 4.
Yeah.
So but the good news is that's not as bad as a category 5.
It's not as bad as category 5, that's right.
So we're laughing then.
The forecast rainfall for the next, it says 8 days, is over 400 mil.
Which is how many inches?
16.
16 inches of rain coming towards us right now.
Yep.
And we have to be back here by dark?
Got to be hit back by dark.
Yeah. Right.
So
5:30.
you've probably got about 3 hours on the island. That's best case scenario.
We're here. So I'd say we go give it a shot this afternoon and see what we can do. But we think we can get on the island. The pilot's going to wait for us. We're going to try and hunt.
And it should be done.
We can just land and go hunting.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what we're going to try. Decisions made. Throw the dice. See what happens. He's beautiful. We did it. It's crazy. I don't remember scheduling in a cyclone on this Marble Island hunt. You can see the crap coming in off the ocean. We've literally got to get out of here now. It's time to go. Soaking wet. I mean, we just came from the start of what's going to be hell, and we got out. We got out. We got there. We got out. That's good. Don't want to do that again. I got him. Incredible. This storm has come through, a shower, a squall, and almost turned the desert to a lake. Yeah, big Steve, go ahead.
Maybe in the entire world is flooded here, man. Barely a piece of underwater.
No, this is a lake now, so the problem is these guys are going to hit one of these ditches where these holes are. All I know is our road that we came in on is now under 3 feet of water beside us. Normally a rain shower isn't something you have to be too concerned about. In an area like this that hasn't had a drop of rain in a year, the soil doesn't absorb the water, it runs off. And as it gathers in channels, you end up with raging torrents that come up in a matter of minutes. And it takes hours for them to go down. As all this runoff off this entire desert works through those channels. If you don't recognize the deep spots, you can dump one of these well over the roof. That's it. We got through the pathway of that monster squall that came through. It probably dropped 6 to 10 inches of rain in maybe an hour, 2 hours max. And now we're past it, traveling through the desert like we started. Incredible, the transformation of this country from desert to lake. And now back to desert again. When you're on the edge in the wildlands, a fear of the unknown is perfectly normal. It's how you deal with that fear. Sometimes it takes mental toughness. You just make yourself do something. Other times it's physical toughness. You have to push through the pain to do something. And other times it's just a fear of how you're going to react when you shove something down your pie hole that your body's saying, don't eat, don't eat, don't eat. Some kumis, which is fermented mare's milk. I've had it in Mongolia. It's a taste sensation. Let's see if it's really good. Haroshi. That's good. Thank you. These are horse curds. I'll try one? Yes.
Salty, still good, and there is no any bad aftertaste.
It's good. There's definitely a lot of that. It's not bad. It's like it's like dried this. That's good. That's a limpet. It's like a live oyster. I don't know if that looks very good to eat. Look at that. I don't know if you're supposed to clean it or... Let's try the whole thing and see what happens. I don't think you're supposed to eat the whole thing. It's a little bit, I think you have to clean that green stuff out. We're at the home of Junko. Just been invited inside for some chai. It's like a sweet, milky tea. Hello. Thank you. You speak English?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Thank you for the chai. We're really eating like kings now. Totally different than what we've had up on the mountain. Look at this. Wild strawberry jam and eggs and macaroni. Sheesh. Very, very.
Boy and girl.
Boy and girl. Okay.
Kaisar.
Hi, how are you
This is
doing?
name Kaisar.
Well, this is my wife, and that's our son, Branlin, and his wife. Her mother, Marcia, and her father, Chet. This is what hunting's all about. The making of new friends, an incredible part of the world. Here we are, new friends. This is hunting. This is hunting. Well, everybody wants to be around for Jim's sandwich because Matt and I have a bet. He'll throw up eventually. This is so good.
Is it just eggs and raw?
It's eggs and eggs. Fish and fowl.
Disgusting.
Isn't that gorgeous? You eat, like, seriously, man? Every little one of those is like a baby salmon. I think I'd rather starve. We're cleaning out the ram we got. We're doing it on the edge of the water because the longfin eels will smell that like a chum line for sharks. We're using Manuka wood with a 150-pound test line and a chunk of sheep liver on a single hook. So pretty high tech. Oh, look at that, look at that. Are you kidding me? That's an eel. No way, no way. Ah, I got him. Holy. That is unbelievable. Okay, you got him? You got him hard? I got him free. Look at that. That's it. Look at that. We caught it, a long fin eel. Holy smokes. That is one slimy thing. I mean, there are some sacrifices you have to make to eat like kings. And one of them is eel slime, apparently. Holy, have I been gooed by this thing. Ew. Wow. So different than any kind of a fillet on any fish, right? Right down the backbone. Oh, look at that. Oh. Unbelievable. It was worth getting slime for.
What's wrong with that?
Good. Beautiful. Holy smokes. Gennady, who's a Koryak native from this area, is showing us a recipe that his father and grandfather and great-grandfather passed down through the family. It's meat mixed with onions, shoved into the large intestine of the sheep that we got tonight.
Kenuni.
Kenuni.
Try that.
We're gonna try it. Wow.
It's good, isn't it?
Incredible. I had no idea that meat wrapped in intestine would taste so good.
Now, we fill this shot and give Gennady, because they have an old hunting traditional, and they every day remember his hunting god. When they drink vodka, they usually fill full glass, and they drink half, and half they send to the fire.
To the fire.
If fire jump up, it's like a God hear you.
Good luck. Oh,
Yeah.
God hear
And
you
he,
when the fire goes up.
yes, and he give you luck tomorrow.
Gennady, this is to today's hunt. Now we're going to find out if God's going to hear us about tomorrow's hunt. Please, God. Oh, yeah, we did.
To his ears.
Yeah, we did.
And you know,
God's listening to us right now. Helping us.
Jim,
Pick up both there to heaven.
we're in God's country.
Exactly right. That's a tiger snake. Uncharted is a hunting program. That's undeniable and something that we're proud of. But we've always wanted Uncharted to be more than that. When we're in these wild lands, we're just as interested in learning about the animals that we can't hunt as the animals we can hunt. working our way around the point to get where the sheep are. We'll hopefully find them at some point today, but the other discoveries we're making are, I mean, I'd be happy if we didn't see a sheep for a month. Incredible, the natural history here, the bird life. Hey, what's this over here? That's an Antipodean albatross. That's incredible. Look at this. He's really aggressive. Look at him rattle his tail. Oh, look what I just caught. And he is not happy. I didn't study up on my snakes in this area, but I know there's some really deadly vipers up here, and they're sure aggressive enough that it could be. Oh, he's just staring right at me right now. I don't know what kind of a snake it is, but we'll let it go do its own thing. There it is. They said there was vipers up here, and I didn't think we'd see any because it's been so cold, but just this hot sun on the rocks, this one came up. Is that it? That's a tiger snake. That's like deadly, deadly poisonous. Oh, he's fast. What if we'd have been asleep? He'd have been crawling right into us. That's frightening. Cheeky bags. That's what cheeky bags. Sheesh. There's a saying, man plans and God laughs. God seems to be doing a lot of laughing at us whenever we plan an expedition to the far east of this world.
Вся республика. Ряд 2 дней рекламы. Телефон рекламной службы 271 96 28 для лиц старше 12 лет.
This back and forth, it means we're stuck. The driver decided to take a shortcut. Instead of taking the nice highway, he decided we're going to save some time. So we're just saving time right now. We haven't even hit the mountains yet. We're already in deep snow. And I think we have to go all the way back. We've been driving for almost 2 hours. Shorter, but it sure wasn't the wisest choice to make. Sheesh, what a start to a 1,000-mile journey. desert over here in this part of Russia. It's not snow, it's cows. Go figure, but when we got stuck and we had to spin the tires so much on that ditch we were in, we obviously damaged one of our summer tires. Now we're using our spare up. Thank goodness we have a spare. Sunshine almost always makes me happy. Another 864 miles. We've been here all day. Well, since 11 this morning, 10 this morning. And we haven't seen a single thing. It's kind of weird that there's no wallabies or kangaroos. It doesn't feel good. No matter where you live around this world, you will have traditions that have been passed down from your parents to you, from their parents to them, traditions that have been passed down for generations and sometimes thousands of years. So when we're traveling to film Uncharted, we're always respectful of other people's traditions. We sit, we watch, we observe, and we try to learn. This is the Baile Chinguino dance. It's the dance of this village, the traditional dance. And they have the masks on so nobody knows who the other person is and they can dance with anybody during the dance. Even the little boy down here dancing, following the steps of maybe his father or his grandfather. They pass these traditions. This dance gets passed on generation after generation after generation. They're about to let the bulls out of the truck. The clowns are right here. This is their blue shields, and we got to be behind the blue shields. Yikes. I just want to make sure that I could really get behind it quickly if I have to. The bull went right through the fence. He came on this side. These are wild bulls that they catch up in the mountains. They're feral bulls. Whoa, look out, Matt. Watch out. Oh, man. That's too close. The bull just got the clown and lifted him up. No, shoot. No, he's good. He's okay. He's safe. What an incredible experience. People that don't understand hunting think that hunting is the kill. But that's not what hunting's about. This is what hunting's about. Experiences, a journey, an incredible, incredible journey. It's gonna be a party tonight. We're visiting a Pula village right here. This is a nomadic tribe that's actually settled. So normally they'd be traveling here, there, and everywhere, but now they've settled. This is pretty cool. I think it's cassava that they're pounding, I'm pretty sure. This is unbelievable. This is the reason we hunt. It's adventure, it's exploration, to see new places and to meet people that just live differently than what we live. I'm gonna hopefully get a chance to get into Sado as one of our trackers, a local guy that's hired by $100, and he's invited us to his house. I mean, I can't wait. Hello? Can I come in? Thank you. Thank you. This is incredible looking inside the Poly home. You can see the gourds hanging on the wall and the reed mats. It's a bed and real wide sort of supports for the bed. So it's actually off the ground, probably to keep the snakes and whatnot away. The lady's actually in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Wow. You know, there's nothing to fear, right? These are just people living their lives. They look differently, they dress differently. I mean, you know, to actually scar up your face, paint your lips green, that's just so different. We're not used to it, but that doesn't make these people anything to be afraid of. The Poly people, these people just live simply and beautifully.
These people are their wives, children.
Okay, of all the people in the village. I see, so this is a party time. Party time. It looks like we have a celebration, but we've also got all kinds of homemade beer, what they call de l'eau. Look at that. Aha! You drink? Okay, I drink. Yeah, of course I will. Oh boy, here we go. Nah, it's good, eh? That is good. Thank you so much. There's going to be a party tonight, I can tell you that. Never been on a hunt before. We're taking him into one of the most uncharted places on the planet. Every true hunter knows that one of the most important and greatest parts of hunting is sharing the experience. And that's especially true when you share that experience with a first-time hunter or someone who's never been hunting before but just wants to come along to see what we're all about.
First time going on a hunt, first time in Russia. So excited, and yet there's some anticipation that's a little scary, to be honest. Don't want to make any mistakes. Just can I keep up? I know that this is Jim's livelihood, and this is so important.
It's been 2 hours now. I feel bad for Peter because lots of glassing on this hunt. If we saw rams all the way across this valley earlier today, we'd already be hiking and trying to climb up that mountain, and he'd be in for a heck of an adventure. But as it is, he's in for a heck of a lesson in patience, hunting patience. And for a guy who's used to racing cars, it's got to be a little bit trying.
One of the scouts has spotted the rams. We don't know how close. I think 500-600 yards. At this point, we're locked and loaded. Safety on. There's two. He's just barely. He's not even. Matt, you see him? Yep. Matt, you see him? Yep. Ready?
Yes. Yes. Done. Done. Done.
We got him.
You got it.
We got him. We got him. Hey, we got it. Thank you. Good guiding. That was close. 146 yards only.
140?
Yeah. It was like right in front of us. Holy smokes, we got him. What a hunt.
Nice work.
Look at him.
How awesome is this?
Yeah, this is the best. Look where we are. Look where we are.
Say that was not easy, and I know you've told me things have been a lot harder. But I watched what went on today, and that was not a hide behind a tree, wait for it to wander by. And no, that's part of the perception I had of hunting, is that you just sort of lie in wait, and the thing wanders by, and whammo. And that was absolutely not the case. I mean, you have to come along and see this to truly understand. I mean, I was very impressed today. And the respect everybody has for this is amazing. Well, we're packing up, and I have to say, Kamchatka is both beautiful and daunting all at once. You know, and I happened a lot on this trip. I mean, it was awesome. Adrenaline and all these emotions. I mean, it was just amazing. And let me tell you, it is not easy.
This is the bittersweet part of the program, the last few minutes of the last program of the year, a time to give thanks. First, thank you to the sponsors. Without the sponsors, we can't bring you Uncharted. We can't bring Uncharted to the world. I'd also like to thank OSG, the Outdoor Sportsman's Group, who own the Outdoor Channel and the Sportsman's Channel. That gives us a platform to bring this message to all of you and to everyone watching around the world nowadays. And last of all, I'd like to thank all of you for watching Uncharted over this last year. We see you, we hear you, and we sincerely thank you. Today, we can remember all of the 5 seasons of Uncharted.
Look at this.